Good morning, one and all present here. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to Tech Series 5.1 on Prompt Engineering, organized by Department of Computer Science and Engineering and Cybersecurity. To know more about our college, SA Engineering College, an autonomous institution, was established by Dharmanaidu Educational and Charitable Trust in the year 1998 to 99. With the overall experience of 27 years now. SA Engineering College is approved by AICTE and institute level research center affiliated to Anna University, Chennai. Our college is well equipped with state of art, world class laboratories, central libraries, department libraries, workshops, and research labs. We are certified with NAC and National Board of Accreditation's NBA. Our college offers 11 UG programs like BE Civil Engineering, BE Computer Science and Engineering, BE CSE in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, BE CSE in Cybersecurity, BE Electronics and Communication Engineering, BE Electronics and Electrical Engineering, BE Electronics Engineering in VLSI Design and Technology, BE Mechanical Engineering, BTech IT, BTech in AI and BS, BTech in CS and BS, and six PG programs like ME Communication Systems, ME CSC, ME CAD CAM, ME Embedded System Technologies, MCA and MBA, and also other PhD courses. SA Engineering College maintain high standards of education by providing a wide array of world-class academic facilities, employing highly qualified and experienced faculty members, and creating an ambience of conducting a high-quality education. On behalf of CSC and department and our college management, I would like to welcome Mr. Gautam Kumar and Mr. Geo Godson Samwell under the guidance of Wipro certified faculty, Ms. Shobna, who is here to explain about prompt engineering. Now I hand over the session to them.
So, good morning, everyone. So, I'm Shobna, working as assistant professor in SA Engineering College. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome you all. First and foremost, congratulations on the successfully completing your 12th standard or polytechnic. This is a big milestone, and now you stand at the crossroads of your future, ready to make one of the most important decisions of your life, choosing the right college and the right course. At SA Engineering College, we believe in not just educating students, but shaping the future innovators, leaders, and change makers of tomorrow. If you have a passion for technology, problem solving, and innovation, then computer science is the perfect choice for you. Let's talk about the world we live in today. Everything around us, from social media to mobile app, from AI to self-driving cars, runs on technology. And behind every piece of modern technology, there is a computer science engineer. By choosing computer science engineering, you are not just choosing a degree, you're choosing endless opportunities, innovation, and a future full of possibilities. Our college have good faculty to mentor and guide you all, with good lab facility, industry collaboration for good placement, and to bring best in you, we conduct hackathon workshops and all. The future is digital, and you're the future. Now that you have an idea of how exciting and limitless the field of computer science and engineering is, let's take a deeper dive into one of the most revolutionary concepts shaping the future, prompt engineering. I hand over the session to Mr. Gautam Kumar and Mr. Geo Gatson Samway.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Geo Godson Samuel. So today we'll be seeing about prompt engineering. So what is prompt engineering? So prompt engineering is the practice of designing inputs. The inputs are also called as prompts that guide AI models like ChatGPT, Bard, Claude, uh, newly came in AI models like DeepSeek, etc. to produce better outputs. So the AI models are only as good as the instructions they receive. A well crafted prompt can lead to a high quality, accurate, and creative responses. For your example, you can think AI as a chef and you can take the prompts as recipes. As long as the recipes are better, the recipes are crisp and short and understandable, the better the dish will be. So, why does prompt engineering matter anyway? It provides some key features and functions like efficiency, precision, creativity, and the most important thing, it creates a business impact. On the side of efficiency, it saves time by reducing back and forth with the AI. And in precision, it generates a more relevant and structured output for for what you're aiming for. And in creativity, it enhances brainstorming, storytelling, and content creation. It brings the creative side out of you. And in the business impact, it encloses and encapsulates all the said about three features and functions into a useful feature in marketplace, customer service, programming, and research. Let us see some real world applications of effective prompting. What do we use prompting for? We use prompting to create content, we use it for programming, we use it for debugging, and some companies also use AI in their customer service and customer support. And in content creation, we use it for writing blogs, we use it for writing scripts, emails, social media content, etc. etc. And in programming, due to the large available LLMs, there are various programming languages like C, Python, Java, and in development we have HTML, CSS, JavaScript. We can generate all these codes using prompting. We can even fix errors and debug all the errors that we receive, and we can even optimize logics through it. And in the area of customer support, the chatbots and virtual assistants, they are trained to respond more accurately to the queries asked. More real-world applications include data analysis, wherein which advanced insights are seen, where the reports are summarized for large data, extracting key insights, and structuring the data is also done. And in the field of education and training, it is used to learn new applications. Personalized learning is done. Tutoring and knowledge retrieval is also done by efficient prompting. Foundation for AI. It is a building block for all results, no matter what domain, what field you are in. It is a foundation and it's a building block for all your results. Prompt engineering process. So, how do you generate a prompt? First, you draft it. First, you create an initial prompt. For an example, let's say if I'm going to write an assignment on for 100 words about AI, I have to create an initial prompt with proper structure. Next, the AI receives the response or receives the prompt, and it searches through all its data and data sets, and it refines it by improving the prompt. The results get improved, and finally, we review the response given by the AI. What are the benefits of mastering prompt engineering? It increases productivity. The more clearer, the more structured prompts you give, the more faster, the more accurate the results you will receive. And it provides better problem solving. Since using AI, the accuracy increases and the more effective AI assistance is obtained there. And in competitive advantage, the person who is using AI stands out in his or her expertise. How do you get started with prompt engineering? First of all, you should start from learning the basics. Understand what the AI does, understand what its capabilities are, understand its limitation. Learn the basics first. Following, practice regularly. Experiment with different prompt structures. You can give structures in the basis of questions you can give for commands, etc. etc. Join communities. Join with people who know about prompt engineering more. Share your techniques with them. Learn from them. And finally, application. Integrate prompt engineering into your daily tasks for creating datasets, for obtaining results, reports. Try to integrate the prompts you practiced into your daily tasks. So now let us dive into the topic of how understanding how AI models respond to prompts. We all know about LLMs. LLMs are also called as large language models. So how they interpret the input. The first context is that AI as a probability mission. So what this does is the AI predicts the next most likely word based on training data. For your example, when we use Google, you go to the search bar, you type a word called Apple. The below URLs are based on the training data that was given to Google for its search engine. Similarly, the AI predicts your next most likely word based on its training data. Next context. The more context you provide, the better the response. The more context on your input, the more context on your prompt, pointing to where you want the prompt to lead and where do you want the result to happen. When you provide all these correctly to the point, your expected response will be received. What are some key factors affecting AI? Context. We fail to give proper context for the response we are trying to receive. Specificity. We don't provide specific information for the AI to give its response on. We provide too vague contents and too vague prompts. Instruction style. As we discussed, there are two types. You can either give commands. As mentioned here, you can either give it a command to write a formal email, write an informal letter, like that. And even you can ask questions. How do I write a formal email? How do I write an informal letter? How do I write an assignment? These are some instruction styles you need to be aware of. And biases. AI patterns in training data. The AI reflects its patterns based on the training data. So there can be biases, there can be misinformation. Knowing those biases, knowing those misinformation can help you to produce your expected and desired response or result for your prompts. What are some common mistakes we do? We give too vague prompts like tell me about AI. Instead of that, if you want to make your response more optimized, you can give a prompt as summarize AI applications in healthcare in 100 words. This specificity enables AI to give a better response for your liking. Overly complex. Making prompts as big as 4 to 5 lines will have conflicts, will have overly complex approaches. Instead of that, make it to the point, make it crisp, and don't overcomplex it. Lack of examples. While giving a prompt, always make sure you give an example for it or a clear demonstration of what you want it to do. This enables the AI to focus and narrow down its thinking to give you a better response. Ignoring the context. Never ignore your context while giving a prompt. Asking a follow up without referencing previous information is the biggest flaw you can do in prompt engineering. Always have a reference for your previous information as a follow up. Why? Why is context more important? What is the importance of context? It gives you precise response. When you provide a context, the AI narrows down its searching for the response and it gives you a response tailored to your needs. Relevant information. The context you provide helps the AI to filter for your queries and give the proper response. This helps you in attaining the response which you initially wanted by giving a prompt. Rich in context. It provides a detailed background information. It provides features. It provides some n number of context which you asked for it when you give the proper context. So the more context you provide, the better the response from the AI will be. Because the AI predicts the next most likely word based on training data, and the context helps it understand exactly what you're looking for. So never go down on context. Specificity in AI prompts. Why should we specify while giving prompts to AI? You can see an example here, a vague prompt versus specific prompt. In a vague prompt, when you say tell me about AI, the results are going to be generic. There's going to be a broad information, and it might not actually address what you need. While in a specific prompt, when you can give a prompt as summarize AI applications in healthcare in 100 words, you are specifying that you want a response on applications of AI in healthcare for an exact amount of 100 words. This delivers a focused and relevant information, and it exactly meets your requirements. So a vague prompt leads to generic answers, while a more specific prompt provides a more precise and useful AI response. Why does instruction style matter? Instruction styles, as we discussed, are of two types. One is command and the other is question. When you give a command, the AI generates a response for your command. While when you give a question, it provides a more narrowed down, a more specific kind of response for your prompt. Write a formal email. This states that you're prompting the AI to generate you a formal email. While in the question style, when you ask, how do I write a formal email? It gives you a basic skeleton. It tells you what to write, what not to write. As you can see the differences there. So each approach yields a different result. So your instruction style significantly impacts the AI model's response. Commands are more of a direct output, while questions produce an explanation or a guidance. Why there are biases in AI responses? The first one is training data. The training data contains some patterns which are given to it. So this leads to a bias because it is a human created content. And AI processing. The AI processes it, it learns from the training data, it amplifies the patterns found in the data. Next, the output. It reflects biases present in training data. And finally, the user awareness. Why user awareness is more important? You should always be aware that there are going to be biases in an AI response because it reads content based on the human created data. So there are some patterns which are unrecognized. So there are going to be biases. When the user is very much aware of these biases, it helps the user to provide more context, more specific context, and get the response as per his or her wish. So the AI reflects patterns in training data. Understanding this limitation will critically evaluate the information AI provides and recognizes when additional verification might be needed. Now I will hand over the session to Gautam.
Yeah, good morning, people. Hope you had some really good exposure on the introduction to prompt engineering and understanding how AI models work. I think that was a really good explanation from our fellow speaker, Mr. Gio Godson. So, I think before starting with my topic, which is of types of prompts and how you should prompt, I would like to make you understand why prompting is important and how you prompt is way too important, because since we are dealing with LLM models, which is large language models, the way it is trained, the understanding the way it is trained is really crucial to make you people understand why prompting is important and how you should prompt. LLM models, as the name goes, they are large language models. They actually mimic the way humans understand what we speak and what we try to communicate. They are trained in that particular way. So the prompts that you pass in to some LLM model, be it GPT, be it Bard, be it Claude, or whatever, those are some LLM models that you're very popular with. So what they do is they try to understand your prompt, which is your prompt is basically your question, is basically your query. So they try to understand what you want. So being clear with what you want gives you a very clear answer of what you desire. So that's really an important thing. So that's why prompt that's why prompting is really important, and knowing the types of prompt and how you should prompt is really way more important. So yeah, I think this introduction is would make you exciting about the types of prompt that we have ahead. So just have a look at the types of prompts that we have, and please make a note of it if you would like to. So the very first type is going to be basic prompts. They are going to be some direct questions for which you will get some direct instruction, direct responses. For example, writing a professional email requesting a meeting. So this is something that's very straight away. So you need not really throw in some huge level context for this kind of prompts. This is way more straightforward. So what you can basically do is you can pass in a very straightforward prompt, which is write a professional email requesting a meeting. Since the LLM models are trained on a huge data sets, which includes some professional emails as well, they take that data sets and they provide you with an email that's simply going to reflect some professional email requesting a meeting. If you want to add some good level of context over it, if you really wish to have some really good responses, what you can do is you should mention the tone that you're seeking for. You can mention the format that you're seeking for, or you can even mention the audience to whom you're writing that email to. Okay, so if you if you integrate these tips into your prompt, what you would get is something like write let's say you want to write a polite formal email. You can probably give a prompt as write a polite formal email requesting a meeting with a client, and you can even specify the number of words or letters or tokens or whatever as part of the prompt, so that you get the email with the desired set of characters or words or whatever. So keep it under 150 words, or make it to 150 words, concise it to 150 words would do the work. Okay, nothing more with basic prompts. Okay. So the next type of prompting would be chain of thought. What chain of thought deals with is, so let's say you're dealing with some math problem, you're passing in some prompts or queries to your GPT model or whatever LLM model that you're working with. Let's say you're passing the prompt as solve 375 cross 24. This gives you a response which is simply going to be the answer or solution for that question. But let's say you want some uh, detailed explanation of that query, of that mathematical problem. What you should do is you should make the prompt a little lengthier, which is stating that make the answer step by step and explain the process. This is going to get you two things. One is First of all, you are going to get how the question or a mathematical problem is solved. You are going to get that process. Also, you can, by understanding the process or by understanding the steps involved, you can even understand or analyze if the answer provided is right or not. That's what chain of thought deals with. Another example that we have here for you is, should I invest in stocks? Should I invest in stocks is something of a question that's going to be biased because irrespective of the risk or profits that are associated with investing, your financial capabilities, your mental abilities to hold on to the trend of the stock market actually differs. So it is not really a good prompt to ask, should I invest in stocks? Because it's really gonna be biased. What you can probably ask is some kind of unbiased prompts, which is list the pros and cons of investing in stocks, considering the risk return and market conditions. This is going to make a lot of things easier. What you can do is you can basically get all those details regarding investing in stocks, the risk, returns, and market conditions associated with it, and you can probably take your own decision of whether to invest or not to invest in stocks. So this is something that you have to understand. You should never be passing some prompt that, and you should never expect some response that should give you some uh, answer or some decision making process. What you should do is you can get facts, information, thoughts, ideas from your LLM model, and then you can make your own decisions. Do not leave the decision making process to the LLM models. Okay, so what I have for you is some real world example. From the previous slide where I showed you solve 375 cross 24 and solve 375 cross 24 step by step and explain your process, this is gonna be the end result. When you are seeking for solve 375 cross 24, what you are going to get is some one line answer, which is 9,000, which is right in this case, and you can probably check it either. But let's say you're dealing with some big mathematical problems, since you the people who are attending this webinar is going to be from polytechnic, or people who have probably completed their high school. You should be aware about calculus, trigonometry, and those kind of mind breaking stuffs. So this one line answer for those complex mathematical problems is not ideal because LLM models can go wrong. What you should seek for is a step by step and explanation of the process or the explanation of the steps it has carried out to solve that particular problem. Because only then you would be able to verify if the process carried out, if the step carried out, if the computation carried out is right or wrong. Only then you can be 100% sure that the answer provided is right. In this case, we have a clear-cut explanation of how this 9000 has arrived. First, it deals with breaking 24 into smaller parts, which is 20 plus 4. Then, using the distributive property, it is gonna multiply 20 with 375 and then 4 with 375 and gonna sum up the solutions. The solution is gonna provide you something like 750 cross 10, which is for the multiplication of 375 cross 2 cross 10. You're going to get 750 cross 10, which is going to give you 7500. Then multiplying 375 by 4 is eventually going to get you 1500. On the summation of these two answers, what you're going to get is 9000. So you can probably check or rework on every single step and identify if the computation carried on in that particular step is right or wrong. The next type of prompting that we have is few shot and zero shot prompting. So what is zero shot prompting is very simple. Basically, the example provided here is summarize this article in two sentences. have to pass in some article, the text of that article, and you're asking the LLM model to summarize that article to two sentences. Here in zero shot prompting, you're not actually providing the right context or the template for the response or something that you're seeking for. The prompt is so vague that it is gonna be summarized in two sentences, but may not be in the template as you wished for. Okay, so but in few short prompting, what we are gonna provide as a topping to the prompt is some little examples that would make your life easier, because the examples provided here would really act as some kind of template or some kind of uh, response that you're actually seeking for or you would like to have. Let's say in few short prompting, the example that we have mentioned here, uh, you go like summarize the following text in a concise, engaging way, and you provide in the example. Example one is climate change is accelerating due to CO2 emissions affecting weather patterns. The second example is AI is revolutionizing healthcare by improving diagnostics and patient care. The LLM model will understand the template carried out or followed in these two examples, and it will actually understand what you really need and what you don't need. So when you pass in the next set of line, which is now summarized, and you have to pass in the text of the entire article, the LLM model will be able to clearly understand what goes on with that article, and it will be able to give you the right response under the template or under the format that you're wishing for. Okay, and why it works is simply the solution, simply the answer that I gave during the start of my topic, which is the AI is AI is going to use some LLM models. The LLM models is trained on some data sets. The data sets follow some kind of patterns. The LLM model is going to look for some patterns in the prompts, in the text, in the queries, in the responses, and everything. When you are able to pass some good patterns with your prompting, with your desired response, you would be able to get the right response. Okay, so the next prompting technique would be role based and persona prompts. These kind of prompts are way too familiar, uh, because you're actually going to mimic some kind of role or agent. Let's say you are a customer support agent for an e-commerce store, and you want to answer the query from your customer, like, I didn't receive my order, what should I do? When you pass in the prompt like, answer the following query politely and professionally, I didn't receive my order, what should I do, to the LLM model, the LLM model wouldn't be able to properly understand what you're seeking for, because it doesn't know what what hierarchy you are at, so what answer you should be throwing for that question. When you pass in the role, when you make the AI model obtain some specific role, it will be able to generate some really good responses under the title of customer support agent. Uh, for this, you should be specifying the agent that's the AI model is gonna mimic or you wish to mimic. So you can probably add in some kind of context to the LLM model stating that act as a customer support agent for an e-commerce store. This would make the AI model understand the prompts, the responses, the data sets related to customer support agent of an e-commerce store. And then when you pass in this query, which is I didn't receive my order, what should I do? It will be able to answer this particular question very, very precisely. You can also mimic this kind of prompting techniques for various other roles as well, which is teacher or tutor. You can probably make the AI model assume it to be a teacher and make it explain the Pythagorean theorem as if I were a 10-year-old. This would make the AI model mimic itself as a teacher or tutor. The next example is being a journalist. When you want to write some news article on AI advancements in healthcare, and when you explicitly mention that you want the AI agent to mimic some kind of journalist, it would actually take in those data sets and it's gonna pretend that. And the same goes again why it works because AI adapts its tone and style to fit the assigned role. The next one is how you should structure your follow-up questions, because in the initial stage you're going to pass in some initial prompt that may or may not be clear, but I would advise it to be clear. That prompt can be simple, can be straightforward, can mimic some agent or whatever, but it may not throw you the response that you were seeking for initially. Then from the AI response that you have received, you can probably iterate on it. You can probably ask some more questions depending on the AI response that you have received. You can probably iterate on it over and again so that you eventually get the desired result. So this is what follow up deals with, and follow up is something that's gonna make or take you to the stage where you will get the right response. We can also call this prompting technique to be multi-turn conversation or multi-turn prompting. To summarize things up, it is very important to understand all the prompting techniques, and it is very important to understand at which use case you should be using it. So, basic prompts are best for simple and straightforward tasks. The use case can be writing emails and generating ideas. The technique of chain of thought is best for complex problems requiring reasoning, which is step by step process or explain the process or those kind of questions. The use case would be mathematic problems and decision analysis. Few shot technique is best for tasks with specific output formats. The use case would be consistent summaries and specific writing styles. The next technique would be role based, which is best for specialized knowledge or tone. And the use case would be technical explanations and creative writing. The next technique is on multi turn, which is the last technique that I have explained about, and it is best for extended conversations on a topic. Then the use case would be on research assistance and iterative content creation. So, picking up the right prompt from the list of prompts that we have explained is really, really crucial. And what what context is it really suits for makes you develop good prompts and get some really good responses. And we would like to conclude our explanations here, but on top of it, what we would like to give you as the cherry on the cake is, since we are some engineering scholars, we follow some set of professional courses during our academics. uh, Probably some people would be aware of this platform, and for people who are not aware of it, I would like to show you some demo over this platform, which is Infosys Springboard. So I'd like to show you the demo of this platform here. This platform is developed and maintained by Infosys, which you have probably heard of, one of the biggest MNCs based in India. They offer you a huge list of courses and professional certifications through their platform at free of cost. This is one such great platform. We follow, we take up courses on and complete certifications as part of our academia. One such certification that we were really intrigued on is prompt engineering techniques with DeepSeek R1. For people who don't know what DeepSeek R1 is, it's an open source LLM model that has recently gained its popularity originating from China. And please don't be don't be biased on the prompt engineering techniques with DeepSeek R1, since the prompt engineering is not only biased towards one particular LLM model. You can probably use this course to to structure your prompts for any LLM model for that matter. This can be applied to any LLM model. So I would like to, after completing this webinar, I would like to uh, show you this demo of this certification. I just want you to complete this certification, because before you're moving into your professional degree courses, this certification would really get you some kind of spotlight to the place where you go. So just search for Infosys Springboard on Wingspan, and then go to their platform. You'll be seeing a search bar over there, and then search for prompt engineering techniques with DeepSeek R1, and try to complete the course. It is just a 20-minute course that you can really spend some good time, and you can spend some really good time and work on it. Try to understand it and try to implement it, very importantly. So yeah, this is the thing that we wanted to show for you. Uh, and thanks for joining the webinar, people. I hope you had some really good session understanding prompting and what are the prompting techniques available.
Participants, if you have any queries, you can drop in the comment section. Participants, participants, if you have any queries, you can drop in the comment section. The feedback form. The link to the form is available in the comment section. On behalf of our college management, I would like to thank each and everyone for attending the session. Also, I would like to thank
On behalf of our college management, I would like to thank each and everyone for attending the session. Also, I would like to thank Mr. Gautam Kumar and Mr. Gio Watson Samuel for sharing their time and knowledge with us. Thank you all very much. That's the end of this.